Innkeeper. Welcome back, valued guest. You're just in time. We're doing something a little different today. We call it a Q&A. It's a term I made up that's short for question and answers. We're having a lot of fans and people who've stayed at the end before write to us, and we're going to answer their questions for them.
Dear Innkeeper, just how many people have died at your inn?
Died at the inn? None. We don't kill anyone at this inn. We're a legitimate business. The only people we kill are the ones we kill with kindness.
My wife and I are looking for our son, Philip. He last stayed at your inn about 6 months ago, and we haven't heard from him since. Please, can you tell us anything about him?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone named Philip has ever stayed at the inn. We're having my favorite dish tonight. I call it Philip Mignon. Ha ha!
I'm still alive.
Yep, no idea whatsoever what happened to Philip.
So, yeah, dude, what are your thoughts on that podcast that's named after a card in the core set?
Wait, there's a card called Mythos Busters in the core set? I never saw that card. I think I'm missing it, along with card 117, Lita Chandler. I must be missing 2 cards. I need to get in contact with the manufacturers of this game. In the meantime, listen to this horrifying tale I like to call Threads of Fate.
We will be continuing our solo run on Standard with Carolyn Fern in the Forgotten Age. Last time we were defeated in the Doom of Eztli, and after a very difficult run through that scenario, we finished with only 2 experience points. This means we'll be using the exact same deck that we were using for the Doom of Eztli, I'm banking those 2 experience points to upgrade specific cards. So hopefully things go a little bit better this time around, and we get enough experience to finally be able to get to a point where we're comfortable running this solo without a tremendously high chance of defeat every scenario. So anyways, the deck so far has been pretty solid. Doom of Eztli was just a very difficult scenario. It always has been for me. So I expect us to do much better in this one, as we did with Untamed Wilds. We did get poisoned last scenario, so that is in our threat area. Although in this scenario, I don't recall anything happening with that. We took a physical trauma and a mental trauma after being defeated twice in the Doom of Eztli. We have Shoot Analysis as our permanent card, and that'll help us upgrade our Ancient Stones from the unidentified version, which are still in our deck, to Minds in Harmony. We need just 1 more experience point in order to upgrade to 2 of these cards. So that is the main goal here. I think 1 experience point is more than doable. So let's begin. Friday, July 17th, 1925. We have finally made it back to Arkham, our expedition a success. Alejandro is excited to report his findings to the university. How he maintains his starry-eyed idealism after the hell we went through in the jungle is beyond me. His attention is fixated on the strange relic that we discovered in the ruins. I wish we knew a little more about the artifact's origins. It unsettles me greatly. It hums at all times and pulses with an otherworldly energy I can scarcely describe. As we traveled home with the artifact in tow, our nights were plagued by bizarre nightmares, dreams of other worlds and civilizations. Alejandro wants to bring the relic to the Miskatonic Museum to put it on display with the other Eztli artifacts we discovered. My feelings are mixed. At the museum, it will receive proper care, and historians will be able to study it and perhaps even discern its purpose. However, I fear that the relic may be too dangerous for the public. After all, we still have no idea what the damn thing even is. Alejandro would hate it, but perhaps it would be better to keep the relic somewhere safe, where Holland and I can study it in private. I have to decide tonight. After tomorrow, there won't be time to change my mind. Sunday, July 19th, 1925. I've decided to give custody of the relic to Alejandro. This entire expedition was based on his research after all. He should be the only one to study it. If anyone can discover the relic's secrets, it's him. The relic is to be in the centerpiece of a new exhibit at the museum. Alejandro has already written extensively about our discoveries, but his work has only just begun. Many mysteries about our expedition remain. How have the Eztli people remained undiscovered for so long? Why did they appear to be guarding the jungle, and from what? Who really built the temple ruins we explored? I have no doubt Alejandro will uncover the answers to these questions, given enough time. As for me, my role in this endeavor has ended. However, I have yet to relax. My thoughts are constantly in the jungle, serpentine figures in the shadows, obsidian arrows embedded in skeletal bodies, malformed voices shrieking in the cavernous depths. When I walk through the streets, I find myself drawn to the museum without realizing it, as though possessed to see the relic once again. There is a nagging sensation in the back of my mind, as though we have forgotten something important. What must I do to rid myself of...
The journal entry ends abruptly. You drop your pen as a loud knocking at the door startles you, and you jump to your feet. It is almost 2:30 in the morning. Who could possibly be at your door at this hour? Your thoughts wander again to the jungle, and you are faced with a vision of serpent creatures attacking you in your own home. Shuddering, you find a weapon and approach the front door carefully, ready to strike if need be. You take a long breath and open the door. On the other side is a familiar woman with brown skin, long brown hair, and piercing yellow eyes set in a hard glare. Though her attire has changed, you recognize her instantly as Ichtaka, the Eztli warrior you encountered in the rainforest. Wearing a long coat and a bowman hat, she is visibly uncomfortable in her shoes. Her jaw is set in anger. You're about to raise your weapon in defense when she lets out a heavy sigh and walks slowly over the threshold of your home, shutting your front door behind her.
Whatever you did, you have to reverse it,
she intones darkly,
or all will cease to exist.
The night passes with Ichtaka resting in your living room. You get no sleep for the remainder of the night, your thoughts drifting between concern and disbelief. Her story is preposterous, but you feel compelled to believe it nonetheless. You've known that the relic from the Eztli ruins had some deeper purpose ever since you first laid eyes on it. When you emerge from your bedroom the next morning, your uninvited guest is sitting at your dining room table, arms crossed tightly across her chest. Her piercing eyes trace your every move like a bird watching its prey. No pleasantries are exchanged.
Where is the relic now?
Ichtaka asks impatiently.
Where have you brought it?
You explain that it is safe, in good hands. She shakes her head, her knuckles white with frustration.
I assure you, it is not.
Setting aside your many questions for the time being, you call your contact at the Miskatonic University Museum. Despite the early hour, Dr. Horowitz should be at her office preparing for the long day ahead of her. The operator connects you after a short delay. Ellie gives you an unusually curt greeting, her voice cracking and unsteady. As soon as you ask about the relic, she scoffs.
Oh, not you too. Mr. Wallstead is practically knocking down my office door, and 2 reporters have been harassing me all morning.
You ask her what the trouble is, and she lets out a long sigh.
The relic is missing. None of the security guards know what happened. One minute it was in the display case, the next it was gone, and before you ask, no, Mr. Vela is nowhere to be found.
Suddenly she is yelling to another party.
One moment, please. I'm on the telephone.
She apologizes to you tersely and hangs up a moment later. Sure enough, Alejandro's not answering his telephone, and none of his other associates have seen him since yesterday.
Believe me now?
Ichitaka asks, rising to her feet and gathering her things.
We've wasted enough time. Find the relic and meet me back here tonight. Don't follow me. You're not going anywhere until you tell me what's going on.
Ichitaka grits her teeth and pauses. You expect her to refuse and leave without answering your questions, but surprisingly she relents. According to Ichitaka, her people have spent ages protecting the relic from interlopers who would use it for nefarious purposes. She speaks cryptically, in half riddles and half tales, although she refuses to explain where her people come from and how they have remained hidden for so long. When pressed about the relic, all she says is that it controls the flow of time, and that it must not be tampered with.
It must return to its rightful place.
She explains. Her gaze is relentless, unwavering.
Do you understand? It cannot fall into the wrong hands. If you help me recover it, I will aid you in return. Just promise me you will not use it.
3 fates. You have 3 tasks before you and a limited amount of time before the trail goes cold. Where do you search first? Missing persons. Suspecting foul play, you've decided to go to the police to enlist their help in searching for Alejandro. The relic is missing. The Eztli relic was last seen in its display case in the Eztli exhibit at the Miskatonic Museum. Ichitaka fears that the relic could be used for terrible purposes if left in the wrong hands. You must recover it. The Guardian's inquiry. Ichitaka tells you that she has seen several Eztli artifacts on sale at the strange shop near the northwestern edge of the city. She wants to head in that direction to investigate further.
And welcome all to Threads of Fate, my favorite scenario in Arkham Horror the card game. We're getting our bags set up. All the proper tokens are in place. A little bit unfortunate because we have now added two cultist tokens and 2 tablet tokens. And that's going to make things a little bit more difficult here. Alright, now that that's in place, we'll go ahead and shuffle our cards and draw our opening hand. And this scenario is nice and long. Usually you have a lot of time to get your stuff set up. Well, not time, but as you play, you have plenty of chances to get things set up. But it is a race against time, so I misspoke earlier when I said you have time. Everything must be done very quickly because there are cards here that are trying to accelerate the agenda very quickly. And if I pull to fight the Black Wind, that's really going to hinder things even further. The cultists that appear in this scenario all get Doom on them, and then there's treachery cards that add more Doom to them. So we have to keep that in check if we are to complete our mission. I've never gotten all 3 playing solo. I'm sure with someone that can move and get extra action, someone like Rex that can get extra clues, or the name is escaping me right now, but Ursula, someone like that would probably be able to complete this. I've never really lost to this one by damage. But I have lost to time plenty of time, so resigning is important here, so we need to get to it. Okay, we don't need the Ancient Stone. Nothing to help us investigate, nothing to help us fight. Let's redo our whole hand. So, oh god, another Ancient Stone. Okay, that'll help. Okay. Alright, not the best starting hand, but not the worst. We have something to help against treacheries, and we are well prepared, as well as physical training, so those two work very well together, and a flashlight to help us investigate. So can't complain, it's not terrible. The physical training will help us with fighting, early on. The cultists don't have too much health here, so it shouldn't be too tough. And now we'll begin with our starting location, and that is Rivertown.
The banks of the Miskatonic River are lined with docks, warehouses, and small shops in a district aptly named Rivertown. There's something unsettling about the water of the Miskatonic River tonight. It ripples and bubbles as though something is moving beneath the surface.
One shroud, one clue. This is an easy clue to get, so we definitely want to take advantage of that and grab this clue as quickly as possible. There's also some treacheries in here that'll take clues away from you, so having a little bit of a buffer with clues is nice, just in case, because there's also Hunting Shadow, which is one of my arch nemesis. That treachery deals you 2 damage if you don't have any clues on you. And, if you fail the... Alright, actually, I don't think it requires a test. Anyways, here we go. 1 shroud, so it's going to be... Actually, let's go ahead and play some of our cards first. Let's go ahead and put physical training. 0 cost, because it's a higher level one. You can spend a resource to gain a willpower or combat for a test. This is going to help us. This is our, right now, only way to manage combat. So, and well prepared, which will help us because we can exhaust this to gain a bonus of X to a skill value of a test, which with physical training in play, we can get 2 combat or 2 willpower icons by exhausting well prepared. Very handy combo there. And we'll bring out a flashlight, which uses 3 supplies, and you can use one to investigate and give -2 shroud to a location you're investigating. Alright, so we are set up, but that takes our turn. So here we go. We will now draw a card and gain our resource. Oh, another way to handle treacheries. Very cool. I do like that card quite a bit. And we'll add a Doom and draw our first encounter card, and it is on Wings of Darkness. Revelation test 4 agility, probably not going to happen. If you fail, take a damage in a horror, and then disengage from Night Gaunt enemy and move to a central location. Okay. Well, this is probably going to fail, so... I mean, I don't think I can win this test. Yep, 0. That's a 2. So, we fail. So, here we go. We take a damage and a horror. We already had 1 damage and 1 horror due to the trauma we received from the Doom of Eztli. We are now moved to the center here, and that is downtown.
The downtown area of Arkham is filled with government buildings, including City Hall. The First Bank of Arkham, Independence Square, and Arkham Asylum can also be found in this area. It is the busiest district in the city. A refugee for the mind, or prison for the soul.
4 shroud, 2 clues, and it's a victory location. I didn't want to move from Rivertown just yet, but hey, this doesn't particularly hurt me in any way. In fact, I can probably nab these clues and get a victory out of it. So, okay, I think we're gonna do that. Let's investigate. Yeah, I think we're gonna use one of our flashlight charges to reduce the shroud, and it's gonna be a 4 versus 2. I'm doing this because my intellect is 4, so I don't want to just go 4 versus 4. It'd be wasted actions to do that. And we pull a -3. That's a failure. That sucks. Okay, let's do it again. Mix this up a little bit here. Okay. All right, we're gonna do this again, and this is gonna be a 4 versus 2. And actually, let me see if I have anything that'll help. Ancient Stone. Yep, it's going to be a 5 versus 2. I'm doing this because since the flashlight has charges, I don't want to waste the charge. And that's a, Elder thing. So we succeed because that's a -2. Anyways, I overcommit when it's something that's charges, like a spell or the flashlight. Because if you waste a charge, it's a limited resource, so might as well overcommit so you can ensure success here. Alright. And this goes away. Okay. So that's good. We got a clue. Hey. I guess, tried last time. let's go ahead and do this. We'll use this to boost our intellect by 1, and that's 5 versus 2. Do it again. So that's a tablet. So that's a -2, and if we don't succeed by at least 1, we place a doom on the nearest cultist enemy. There are no cultist enemies, so we slide by on that one. We get our clue, and we have 2 clues. We've gained our victory from this location. And that ends turn. Let's draw our card and get a resource. Okay, could have come in handy, manual dexterity. Put our resource into play, and doom to the agenda. Draw our next encounter card. Ooh. Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. If there's no cultist, search the encounter deck and draw a cultist enemy. Okay. Well, I don't want that guy. Here we go. We choose the weakest one. Acolyte. Spawns at an empty location and place a doom on it when it enters play. Let's go here. We're going to go down here anyways. So let's put him there. That way we can grab that clue real quick. We'll shuffle the encounter deck. See, these cultists come out and then doom starts getting put on them. And this agenda can advance very quickly if you don't keep that kind of stuff in check. So it's very important to get rid of these guys as soon as possible. So I'm not super worried about this guy just yet because the doom threshold is 6. I have a couple of rounds, so let's go around this way. Okay.
Northside is a commercial district that contains many offices and factories, as well as the train station. In Northside, nothing gets people talking faster than a bit of dough.
3 shroud, 2 clues, also a victory location. You can use an action to spend 5 resources and get clue from the token pool. I don't think I'll be taking advantage of that because I want to get the clues off of this, not the token pool. So I'll do that. I think that while I'm here, I might as well advance the act that requires me to be here. It doesn't take an action, I just have to spend a clue. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll just go ahead and move this one, and that way we can move forward with this. And that's the Guardian's Inquiry. Maria da Silva. She is, looks like she hangs out in the Curiosity Shop. Gotta spend a resource to parlay, and you chat with her, and then you test 3 intellect. And then you can advance.
Strange relics. Inside the shop, a middle-aged woman wearing the height of fashion inspects the Eztli relics on display with admiration. How did these relics get here? And what does this woman know about all of this?
Alright, so it looks like we got the ball rolling on this. We advanced 1 act forward, but I don't have time to complete this one and go to see her. I do need to get this cultist, so we're going to go ahead and keep moving. I don't think I have time to grab a clue either, so let us just go ahead and move down to the university. And yeah, university, here we go.
Miskatonic University is one of the most prestigious colleges in the Northeast. The university library is famous for its collection of occult books maintained by the esteemed Dr. Henry Armitage. The campus is quiet and lonely. Several of the buildings have been left unlocked for students and faculty working into the night.
Another victory location, 4 shroud, 2 clues. It's kind of harder to get these clues out of this place, but this scenario does have a lot of victory points. You could rack up quite a bit of experience in this scenario, so that's pretty cool. 2 clues go on there. The ability on this location is really handy for me right now. Might as well use it. Draw 6 cards, and any spell or 1 spell I could put into my hand. Oh, nice. Look at that, huh? Look at that. I got Shriveling and Mist. I think Shriveling is going to be more important, so we'll put that into our hand. Having this in this location is so handy. If you're a mystic, like, wow. It was very nice of the designers to put that in there. Very worth an action, 100%. So now we can defend ourselves once we play this card. Very cool. And you know what? Might as well play it. Let's do it. Shriveling goes into play. Uses 4 charges. You can spend a charge to fight with willpower, and it deals +1 damage. Special symbol, you take a horror. And I'm really bad, FYI, at taking the horror when I reveal a special symbol. So call me out on it if you see it happen. Because I probably won't catch it until afterwards. Alright, so at least we are able to defend ourselves now. And, yeah, perfect. Next round we'll kill this cultist. So this ends our turn. And, yeah, let's go ahead and draw our card and gain our resource. Oh, no. It is our weakness to fight the black wind. We take a direct horror. At the end of the round, any horror that wasn't healed, we added Doom to the agenda. Ouch. We took a horror. The horror didn't hurt that much. It's the Doom that gets added because we can't heal it. Man, okay. Well, so it looks like we're putting 2 Doom on this agenda. There's nothing we can do about this. So this is going right on there. Doom gets put on the agenda. We are at 4 now. And 5 because of the cultist. This will advance next round if we don't kill this cultist. Hunting Shadow. Peril. Choose 1. Spend a clue or take 2 damage. Oh, this card. God, I really hate this card. Excuse me. Well, at least we have a clue. I'm not going to take 2 damage. We're going to spend this clue. There it goes. So, well, not terrible. But we need to have that buffer clues because of that treachery. Okay, so we have turn again. We got to get rid of this cultist. That'll buy us around. And at least there is a clue at that location that we can nab. Let's go ahead and get in there. So we go in. He engages. We'll shrivel him. 3 versus 3. And let's go ahead and we'll use Well Prepared to get 2 willpower icons. That will put us at a 5 versus 3. Should be good enough. Spend a resource to boost this to a 6 versus 3. And here we go. And a 0. Nice, look at that. Killed him right off the bat. And this is what I was saying earlier. I like to overcommit when it has to do with charges. Let's nab this clue. 4 versus 1. Should be simple. And shake this bag up. Someone told me on a comment before that I don't shake my bag enough and I keep pulling the same tokens, so that's why I'm doing this. It's a cultist. So that's -2. We get the clue. We succeeded by 1, so we don't take a damage. That's handy. Let's go back to the university. Alright, and that ends our turn. We'll now draw a card. And, okay, cool, anatomical diagrams. I like that card a lot. And, we gain a resource. Let's, add a Doom. This will advance next round. And then to fight the black one, it goes away. So, not terrible. Conspiracy of Blood. Ooh, I hate this. -1 Doom threshold to the agenda. Each cultist gains parlay +4. And you can discard a copy of this. Well, since it's advancing next round, it's not a big deal that this came out here. The Doom threshold is met, but you don't check the Doom threshold or you check the Doom threshold before you draw a card, encounter card. So we're safe for this turn. But anyways, that's what I was saying, that to fight the Black Wind is actually much more harsh in multiplayer than in single player, because this tends to happen where it doesn't really do too much. I mean, I lost a turn, not a big deal. So, let's go ahead and use this to boost our investigate. 5 versus 3. And that's a skull. So that equals 0. That's why I like Well Prepared. Even though the flashlight is empty, I can still tap it for a intellect icon, so it's handy. Let's shake this bag up. Shake it up. Alright. Gonna grab that final clue from here so we can get that victory point. And yeah. Let's do it. 4 versus 3. So the bag says another skull. That is a 0. There are no cultists with Doom on them. So we get that clue. Shake the bag up. Grab our clue. And we have earned another victory point. Look at that. Nice and easy. So far it's going decently well for us. Too bad this agenda is going to advance. But I feel like we're making decent progress here. And we get Unexpected Courage. Very handy. Very cool. We have some weapons here to help fight things that are trying to work against us. And draw our next encounter card. Doom. Doom advances. So we do this before we draw a card, actually. These two go away. Not too bad. Not too bad for Fight the Black Wind either. And we advance the agenda. 3 fates. It is at the sun's peak.
The town is bustling as noon comes and goes. University students travel from class to class. Business people take breaks from their busy office lives. And in East Town, Velma's Diner is abuzz with the lunch rush. Despite this veil of normality, the curtain has been lifted. You see this town for what it truly is. An endless mire of secrets. The conspiracy runs much deeper than you had imagined. The more time you spend investigating these mysteries, the more you come to realize they are linked to one another. At the center of these secrets is an enigmatic organization, manipulating events behind the scenes.
Another 6 Doom threshold here for this agenda. And can't forget to draw our encounter card here. Set that down, and we'll draw our encounter card for this turn. And please be something mild. We get, another Acolyte. Spawn in an empty location. Place a Doom on it when it enters play. Look at that. Let's put him somewhere useful here. So we'll go ahead and add a Doom to him. We're going there anyways to talk to the Silver Lady, so might as well just set him there. Makes it easier on us so we don't have to go out of our way. I mean, the game is hard enough. No need to make this harder on ourselves for no reason. And so here's our plan of attack. We're going to go kill this cultist. I don't think we need to use a shriveling charge to kill him. Because of well prepared, we can just punch him and commit a card to save our charges from shriveling for something that has more health. So we'll move in. He engages us, and we reveal the location.
Owned by Oliver Thomas, the self-styled curiosity shop in Northside is an unusual store. On display in the front window is a collection of old trinkets, a brass coal scuttle, a perambulator, an antique globe, and a model sailing ship, to name just a few. A brass bell clangs as you push open the front door. Inside, the shop is dusty and disorganized. Inspecting the unusual wares on display causes the hair on your arms to stand on end.
2 shroud, 2 clues, and it is a victory location. So we know what we have to do here. Gotta kill that cultist, and then we have to parlay with Maria. So, I don't think that I want to use shriveling on this cultist, because it'd be kind of a waste and risking taking horror. So we'll go ahead and just use this to boost physical training, to boost our combat. Then we'll spend 2 resources to boost our combat even further by 4. So it's 6 versus 3. And we're just going to punch him in the face. So Carolyn goes in and she attacks the cultist. And that's a skull, so that is a -1. It's -1 for each doom on a cultist, so that's good enough. So we're gonna shake this around, and he is dead, punched in the face by Carolyn. Look at that. Now, we don't have any resources left. I forgot to shuffle these into the encounter deck when the agenda flips, so I will go ahead and do that now. Sorry for doing that late, but I guess it's better late than never. And we don't have enough resources to parlay with Maria because we used it for this combat, but that's okay. That's okay. We went in, we hit him. We got one more action. Let us think this through here. We'll get the clue, maybe. Yeah, let's get it. 4 versus 2. And a skull. That's a -0. So we grab a clue. I'll shake this around a little bit just to mix it all up. There we go. And we have 4 clues. That ends our turn. We'll draw a card, and it is... look at that. Wow. It's too bad we only have 1 resource. We could have played that and then parlayed with her. That would have been really cool to pull off. And maybe we could still do it. Add Doom to the agenda. And... it's an enemy. Hunting Night Gaunt. Hunter... When attempting to evade the Hunting Night Gaunt, the negative modifier on a revealed token is doubled. That's kind of annoying. And I'm glad we saved our shriveling charges, because this is where we're going to need them. So, now this is top priority. This is going to slow us down. Kind of unfortunate. Luckily, I do have some tricks in my bag, but it's going to cost me a resource. So we'll go ahead and... a resource so that we can use anatomical diagrams. Basically, this gives this Night Gaunt -2 combat and -2 evade. So, I don't want to evade him. I want to kill him. Because he is a hunter and he's just going to follow us around the map if we don't kill him. And he has a high fight. Carolyn can't normally take him. So, he's well prepared to give us 2 willpower icons. And we're combined with the anatomical diagrams. Gives us a 5 versus 1. And shrivel this guy. Let's see. Should be a pretty easy attack here. Alright, that's another 0. So, shake this up. Alright. Make sure everything's shaking in there. And we're going to give this guy 2 damage. And anatomical diagrams last the whole turn, so we'll use another shriveling on him. 3 versus 1. This time, we're going to use Unexpected Courage. Brings us back to a 5 versus 1. And the bag says, oh, look at that, Elder Sign. So we get to heal a horror, and we gain a resource because of Carolyn's Elder Sign ability, and this Night Gaunt is gone. So, actually that resource does come in handy, but now we're going to grab that other clue that's in the location, so we can gain our victory point from here. So, 4 versus 1, 2, so 4 versus 2, and yeah. We'll just run it like that, I think. I think that's a decent odds. 4 versus 1, 2. And most of the special tokens are worth -2 here, so it's not too bad. And that's a cultist. That's a -2. But we do take a damage because we didn't win by 1 or more, so that's unfortunate. But we did get the clue. So we get another victory point. And that ends our turn. So, next turn, what we're going to do is parlay with her, and we'll need a resource to be able to do that. And if we bring on the close, we can get a bonus to that parlay test. So, gain a resource, and we have the resources to do it, so that's going to help. 2 Doom. And let's see, Words of Power. Oh, God. I remember this. So it takes 2 actions to discard it. It goes into the threat area. And basically what happens is any cultists with Doom on them, I can't attack them. So, or I can't deal damage to them with an attack. So that really, really cripples us in being able to manage the cultists that appear and get Doom on them. So as of right now, this isn't hurting me, but it's something I might want to think about removing when I have some actions available, which is usually never, but we'll bring out Fine Clothes. Not only does it give us a damage buffer, it's going to help us parlay with Maria. So we'll go ahead and spend a resource so that we can initiate the parlay action with her. And we'll get a bonus because of the Fine Clothes. So it's going to be a 4 versus a 1. Fairly easy test, I think. I think there's only 2 tokens that'll get us to fail this. So pretty good odds. And let's see. Looks like we pulled a 0. Perfect. Yeah. So we'll shake this up a little bit. And we successfully parlay with her, which means we put a clue on her and we get to advance the act here. So we'll go ahead and advance that. And I think we're going to complete this pretty quickly.
Maria's information. Maria takes a puff from her cigarette before responding to your questions. She tells you that she overheard some well-to-do patrons sitting down several outrageously pricey bids on the Eztli artifacts.
I don't even know where these artifacts came from, but these people seem to know exactly what they were looking for.
She claims. Perhaps if you follow this trail of money, you'll uncover more about this mysterious group that operates in Arkham's shadows. Ishtaka has found the target of her investigation. The trail of the mysterious cult leads here. A thorough search of the area may reveal more.
So we have to remove the clues from all of the locations that are Ishtaka's destinations. We do also have to draw an encounter card. So let's find these 2 locations. This one and Rivertown. Well, looks like all the clues are off. So, and our encounter card is a Brotherhood Cultist. 2 combat, 3 health, 2 evade. Deceptively strong enemy. It's a hunter. Gets +1 fight and +1 evade for each Doom on it. And when you initiate an attack, you put a Doom. So before your attack even starts to go through, it's going to have 3 combat and 3 evade. So very, very difficult guy to kill. And he keeps getting Doom on him, and which makes it harder to hit, which means you're adding more Doom to him. This guy could end the game pretty quickly. I think the best way to deal with them is to evade them and just keep moving. Or if you have a way to kill them in one shot without trying to take a test, that's probably going to be one of the better ways. Something like a dynamite or something like that. Because you risk a lot by initiating an attack with them if your attack value isn't very high.
See, using information from the bank, you track the bidders to a warehouse in Rivertown. Inside, you found a bounty of information about the Eztli relics and Alejandro's expedition.
All right, so we get to take control of Ishtaka, and this act is completed. Mission accomplished number 1, which gets us victory points later, so that's pretty handy. But it's really cool that we get Ishtaka because she is a very strong card to have. Check this out. +1 combat, +1 evade, +2 if you're attacking an enemy with victory, +2 evade if you're attacking or if you're evading an enemy with evade. And she has 3 combat and 2 health. I mean, she's really strong, really nice to have. A very good buffer as well. And great benefits. Although we can't really attack this cultist confidently because, again, he gets Doom whenever you attack him. So I think I think we're going to move. And he's going to take an attack of opportunity against us, dealing us a horror. We have a good buffer, so it's not, anything that's going to, take anything away from me. But attempting to evade him would have been a wasted action. I do need to move. So the reason I moved is I have to keep moving because the agenda is going to flip, and he was going to attack me anyways, and I can take an extra point of horror. So I saved myself an action, because had I tried to evade him at that location, even if I succeeded, he would have readied because that was my last action. So it would have been a wasted action. Moving was far more efficient, even though I took a horror. I hope that makes sense. So false lead. If you have no clues to gain surge, if you have one or more clues, test 4 intellect for each point you fell by. Wow. This is a rough one. I don't know that I want to deal with that. Let's go ahead and just get rid of that one. I do not want to add clues to this location because I've already cleared it of clues, and it's a victory location. So I risk losing that victory point if I can't pick those clues back up. So we're going to ward of protection this treachery. Make it go away. We take a horror, and we're good to go. All right. So now we can attempt to evade this cultist. Now it's going to make a little bit more sense to try and do so. And, on the attacking portion, here, we're going to evade with our manual dexterity bonus here. And if we succeed, we get to draw a card. I forgot to untap this. Does she have... Yeah, so 2, we'll go ahead and exhaust well prepared to get a bonus to our evade value, which is going to put us at a 6 versus 2. Pretty good odds. And that's a -2, that's good enough. He is evaded, and we get to draw a card. That's a load off because I can't stress enough how tough these guys can get. We'll move here. I'll draw my card. Okay, no stone unturned. Handy, but half of the cards I need, I think. And we're going to keep moving. This has a victory point, and we can grab it after, but this guy will ready, and then in 2 rounds he's going to move, so I don't want to be too close to him. We'll just go ahead and end at River Town. He readies, and so do we. We'll go ahead and grab our card. Another shoveling. That'll come in handy. Gain a resource and put a Doom on the agenda and draw our next encounter card. Agenda will flip very soon. And mysterious chanting. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. Oh my goodness. That's not good. Pretty crummy treachery, man. God, 2 Doom. That's really bad. Oh, wait a minute. We can actually stop this from happening. I forgot that I had this card. Forewarned. A really good card from Seekers. It's kind of like Ward of Protection. You just spend a clue instead of taking a horror. Ward of Protection is better because it's not an experience card, but if you can take both, why not? 4 versus 1. Let's grab our clue back. Yeah, that just saved us some heartache there. Grab our clue back. See, no big loss there. And then we're going to move in to East Side.
The East Town neighborhood, situated on the northern banks of the Miskatonic River, contains lower-class housing, the Arkham Police Station, and popular eateries like Velma's Diner.
Alright, and it is a 2-shroud, 1-clue location. Not difficult at all to get this clue, but you'll notice it's not a victory location. And it's pretty easy to get that clue, so I can understand why. Don't really need to grab that clue because we have a lot of big buffer of clues. I think we might just end up saving ourselves an action and some time and just spending one of the clues to advance the act here. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next part of this act, and the Arkham Police Station is right under it. Attaches into East Town. 3 shroud, 2 clues, and it's a victory location. Cool.
At the station, the police station might be open to the public in theory, but getting your story heard by the proper authorities requires a bit more finesse than you'd imagined.
Okay, so we just need to spend 2 clues while we're at the police station to advance this. It is a victory location, so I'd like to get the clues off of it, but we have clues available to move this along, so we don't necessarily have to. Now, we are in a dilemma here. If we move in there, that cultist is going to start moving towards us here, so we can get trapped in there or be forced to fight him, which could lead to some problems, or forced to evade him. So here's a crossroads. Do we move in there and try to complete that act, or do we wait for him to come at us, moving one step closer, and then move back down and trick him, basically, buy ourselves some time to get the university revealed? I think I'm just going to grab a resource. This will help me get shriveling out sooner, because this shriveling is down to 1 charge, and it'll trick this guy into moving in closer to me, and I can just move away. So it serves 2 purposes. Oh, cool. Can heal some damage. Nice. And we'll get another resource, and now we will add Doom to the agenda. Oh, flying everywhere. And another false lead. Oh, now I can't get rid of this one because I have no more cards against treacheries. So I'm hoping that I can pass this test here. It's a difficulty 4. This place, if clues drop on this place, it's not a huge deal, actually. So I might just go for it like this, because it's not a victory location that I've already picked up clues from. If clues were going to fall anywhere, I'd rather them fall here, and the shroud value is very low. So I'll commit this. I don't really need no stone unturned. Well, actually, I don't really need to commit anything. We'll use well prepared. Nah, 4 versus 4. Just run it straight. If I fail, no big loss. And it's a cultist tablet. That's a -2. Oh, so we're going to take a damage. Okay. We fail by 2. So we have to drop the clues there. And we take a damage from pulling the cultist icon or token. So we're at 4 damage out of 6. So we need to heal up. Luckily, we do have that delicious card. Second Wind. Second Wind is what it's called. Play only as your first action. Heal 2 damage because we pulled a treachery for 1 resource. That is a good value right there. Now we are down to 2 damage. Not bad. We'll move down to Rivertown. Then we're going to move to the Miskatonic University and start working that angle. You know what? I think maybe I'll stay here and play a card that'll force the cultist to keep moving in that direction. Now, I could gain resources and dynamite blast him, or I could play the Holy Rosary, which will boost my willpower, or I could play Shriveling because I'm low on charges. What to do? I have so many possibilities. Dynamite, Shriveling. If I dynamite, then I'll get rid of that guy, but it's going to take some actions to get resources. The Holy Rosary will boost my willpower, which I will need. Might as well do that. So pay 2 resources, and we'll get this Holy Rosary into play. Not only will it boost my willpower, but also is going to give me a little bit more of a buffer for horror, which I am needing because my horror is quite up there right now. Ends my turn. He moves in 1 more. And we'll go ahead and draw our card. Flashlight. Very nice. I will need it for the university. It couldn't have come at a better time. And put a Doom, actually. Doom moves. So we are on our final agenda. The clock ticks so quickly here sometimes. It really does. All right. So this moves, and let's see what happens.
The sun sets. The streets begin to empty as evening approaches. When the office buildings shut their doors, the clubs open theirs in places both public and hidden from view. In downtown Arkham, the Ward Theater is well lit and filled to capacity. The surrounding streets, however, are eerily quiet. Only soft footsteps from nearby alleyways hint at any sign of life, and a cold wind whistles through the air. The workday might have ended, but your work is far from over. Figures walking down the street start to fill you with a sense of dread instead of comfort. Hidden entanglements. Who can you trust in this city of lies? Arkham may be safe from the perils of the jungle, but you are far from safe here. Each passing stranger in the dark of night could be a kidnapper, a thief, or a killer. Each glance they send your way could be the last thing you see.
All right, last agenda. And we can always resign from anywhere. We have to add one Doom because we've cleared one act from play. So we have 5 rounds left. These 5 rounds go quickly. So we need to move quickly. Let's go ahead and draw our encounter card. And Hunting Shadow. Spend a clue or take 2 damage. Well, this is a no-brainer. Of course I'm going to spend a clue. Taking 2 damage. I have extra clues right now. I don't need the clues that I have, per se. And I can't take damage. Alright, so now that this cultist has moved where I want him, we're going to move into the university. And we're going to start investigating so we can get that victory point and advance the act that's associated with it. So, first thing actually that I want to do, I do need to get that flashlight in play. So, we'll gain a resource, and then we'll spend the 2 resources so that we can play the flashlight. So, flashlight uses 3 supplies. You can spend 1 to investigate and give the location -2 shroud. So our hand slots now are full with flashlights, and now we'll use our final action to move into the Miskatonic University, and that is that. I think I have a pretty solid plan here. That cultist is close, but it's okay. And we draw, look at that, Dr. Christopher himself. Gain a resource, and we'll go ahead and add a Doom to the agenda. 3 rounds left. Or 4 rounds left, sorry. Another Hunting Shadow. Man, this card, there's just so many of these. I feel like every scenario that I play with Carolyn that has this Hunting Shadow, it's like I pull them all every game. It's incredible. So we are out of clues now. Hopefully we don't pull another Hunting Shadow, because then we're in trouble. Alright, so let's grab these clues using the flashlight. And that's a -2 shot, so it has a value of 2 now. We're going to commit no stun unturned, giving us 5 versus 2. And we get... Hey, look at that. We get to heal a horror and gain a resource. Perfect. Might come in handy to gain that extra resource. If we can get up to 5 quickly, then we might be able to just dynamite this guy. So we got that clue. Let's do this again. And can I commit something to this? No, let's just use this to give us another intellect, and we'll commit Mylon Christopher. We'll use this to lower the shroud to 2, puts us at a 6 versus 2. And what does the bag have for us now? Well, 'tis a skull. Number of Doom on a cultist. There's no Doom on cultist, so that is a success. That's a 0. So grab that final clue. We got our victory point, and hopefully I don't get false lead. But we're going to use this to advance the act. I think we might be able to complete this act. It's going to be close, but I think we'll be able to do it. Okay, so it's another location. As the exhibit, 3 shroud, 2 clues, victory location. And, yeah.
At the exhibit, one of the museum security guards, a man named Drew Walker, recognizes you from your pyro work with Alejandro and Dr. Horowitz.
Look, I ain't supposed to be letting anybody into the exhibit, but the coppers don't know from nothing when it comes to this hook'em.
He steps aside and lets you pass.
If anybody asked, you slipped in while I was using the John, all right? Don't take any wooden nickels. All right, so 2 clues to advance this act at the exhibit. We can get a victory location. We can get a victory point from this location, and we can get a victory point when we finish that act. So we can actually double dip on victory points here just before the end, just before we resign. So, and really, we just need 1 clue to advance the act. And then this location has 2, so we can actually do this. So we'll move in, ends our turn, cultist moves, and we draw a card, get a resource. Oh, well, there's not going to be any dynamite happening because we're losing all of our resources. But we do get one after, so not a tremendous loss, but just in case I had planned for a dynamite, that's gonna be at an end here. So it doesn't really set us back that much. Hopefully this treachery doesn't set us back anymore. Ooh, what is this? Secret must be kept. Test 3 willpower. If you fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror. For each act deck we've completed, plus 1 difficulty. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Oh, I forgot to untap to ready that. So we have plus 1 for that. We'll go ahead and use this for 2 more. So that's 3, 6. I forgot to get my resource. Is that a comfortable check? 6. I do not want to take damage and horror, but if I do, it's not terrible. So we'll just do it. That's a 6 versus 4. This scenario, -2 is the most common result, so I think we're in good shape here. -1. Okay, cool. So we succeed. That goes away. And now we can continue with our master plan. So we'll grab our 2 clues. Yeah, that's what we have to do. That cultist, I mean, if he engages us, we have plenty of horror left. So we will flashlight to ensure we grab this clue. It's going to be a 4 to a 1. So 4 to 1. So it should be an easy check, and that's a skull, so that is a 0. So we get the first clue. We'll shake this bag up and mix the coins or the tokens. 1 clue to go, and then we can double dip on the victory points here, and then we can resign. So second check, 4 versus 3. Not as comfy as I'd like, but you know, still have a little bit of time here. So, oh, auto fail. Always the worst time, isn't it? Mixing this up really good because I don't want this to pull again. So it's going to be a 4 versus 3. Okay. So we got to get this clue this turn. Come on. 0. Okay, cool. So we nab the victory. Nice. We'll spend the clues right away to advance this. And, oh, this one. Here we go. The Brotherhood's plot. You search the exhibit where the relic was to be on display, looking for signs of where it might have been taken. As you search, you notice a shadow crawling along the wall. It quickly flits out of sight, and heavy footsteps echo through the halls beyond the gallery. Could it be that the culprit is still here?
You give chase, but the hooded figure has a lead on you and quickly escapes from the museum. At least now you have a trail to follow, and you won't stop till the relic is yours again. You've discovered who's carrying the relic. Now you must secure it from them, whatever the cost.
Well, we're supposed to pull a cultist and put him as far away from us as possible. At this point, I'm just not gonna have time to chase this cultist down. So we're just gonna throw the relic here. We'll add a doom on this guy just so that we know there's another doom on the agenda. But the reality is, I'm not going to try and take him. We're going to go ahead and attempt a resign. So he moves in, engaging us there, and he attacks us, dealing us a horror. Okay. Actually, let's take the horror and put it on the Holy Rosary. I mean, it doesn't make a difference because we're going to resign, but just in case the treachery that we pull before we resign is something bad. So we'll pull our card. All right, that's going to help in case we draw treachery. We gain our resource and add a doom to the agenda. So the doom is now at 5. 4 on the agenda and 1 on the cultist. And, oh, look at this. The secret must be kept again. Test 3 willpower. If you fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror for each act deck that we've completed. It's a +1 difficulty and +1 damage and horror. So we'll survive that no matter what. But just, for the heck of it, let's try and pass this test. And so it's a 4 versus 3. And let's see. 0. Look at that. We made it. Actually, 4 versus 4. 0 still makes it. So, yep. And yeah, so that's that. Cultist engaged us. We can't hurt him. We can't really do much. We will now finish this off right here. A valiant effort, and I think we got quite a bit of experience, so actually works out really well for us here. I think overall Carolyn did really well here. Our board is full. All of our body slots, hand slots are full. Only 1 arcane slot is not. Everything else is full. Our ally, our accessory, our body slot, everything. We made full use of this. And we got quite a few victory points. I'm really happy about the turnout here. So we'll resign officially. And that does not provoke an attack of opportunity. Not that it matters. And let's count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. 5 victory points. Wow. So good. It's just sweet taste of victory. Oh, man. In terms of looking at what we did, oh, yeah, this Words of Power, man, such a tough thing when this guy's after us, but there's, not much else that we could have done there. So overall, I don't think we could have done anything different. I think we played fairly well. Sure, there were a couple of things that maybe were not the best options or the best moves, but overall, I think we really did a good job running through this one as efficiently as we could, and making the most use of our deck and our assets. So overall, I'm very happy with the turnout for it, and I'm very glad at our number of experience points. Actually, we get 6 experience points because we completed an act deck, so we get an extra experience point for that.
You arrive back at your house and take stock of the situation. Your investigation throughout the city has uncovered the existence of a secret cabal within Arkham. From what you can tell, they call themselves the Brotherhood, and they seem to know more about the Eztli relic and Alejandro's previous expedition than even you do. Their methods are secret and furtive, and their motives elude you still. However, one piece of vital information has come to light.
They seek a place known as the Nexus of Inkai.
Ichitaka claims a map of Central America lies on the table before you, marked with the previous expedition's trail.
I have heard of this place, but its exact location is not known to me.
Once again, your mysterious guide appears to know more than Shila-san. With no other leads to follow, you're left with no choice. Once more, you must journey into the uncharted territory and search for answers. But will anyone return this time? It looks like she was better prepared this time, huh? Well, I have a feeling the next one's going to be a lot more difficult. Until next time.